Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about something that will save you thousands of dollars. That is HPLC column regeneration. Your column is losing pressure. You're not getting the desired peak shape in your chromatogram. Your peaks are splitting. You're thinking about throwing your column. But wait, I can exactly show you how to regenerate your column. So in today's video, I'll guide you step by step about regeneration of HPLC column. So let's get started. So before starting the video, I want you to understand when you can regenerate a column and when you really have to throw your column away and get a new one. So when the problem is column contamination, like proteins are stuck, lipids are building up in the pores, a strongly retained compound that didn't wash off, or if buffer salts have crystallized in the column, then these things can be solved by regenerating your column. You cannot regenerate a column if there is physical damage. That means if your stationary phase has permanently collapsed. The silica beads in your column has been dissolved by exposure of a strong pH. If your frit is permanently clogged, then you cannot regenerate a column, you have to buy a new one. So how can you tell when there is contamination and when there is permanent damage in your column? So when your pressure, column pressure is increasing after injection over injection, but you have a decent peak shape, that means there is a contamination and you can solve it by regeneration. But if your column pressure suddenly decreases and there is dramatic differences in your retention times and you see split peaks in your chromatogram, that means it is a permanent damage. You need a new one. One critical warning before we start the regeneration protocol. This procedure is for column size particles that is between 3 to 5 microns and reverse phase column. If you have a column which particle size is below 1.8 microns, it is advised not to backflush the column. It will affect your tightly packed bed. Now let me walk you through proven regeneration protocol. This works for reverse phase column, that is commonly used C18 and C8 column. Now step 1 is reverse flush the column. Remove the column from the system, reverse the flow and connect it to your system, but keep it open end. Let the solvent be collected in your discard beaker. It is not advised to run your sample when you reverse the column. This reverse flushing is only used to push the contamination that is clogging your column. Step 2 is start with your normal mobile phase. For C18 and C8 column, it is usually ACN and methanol. So flush your column with 100% of acetonitrile and methanol. Start with a flow rate of 0.2 ml per minute and then you can gradually increase it to 0.5 ml per minute and then 1 ml per minute for about 20 minutes. This will help in removing your weakly retained organic compounds in the column. Step 3, go stronger. Use isopropanol. Now this isopropanol is stronger than acetonitrile and methanol. Do the same way that you did with acetonitrile and methanol. Start with 0.2 ml per minute, then increase to 0.5 and 1 ml per minute. Isopropanol helps in dissolving your lipids and hydrophobic compounds that has not been flushed out by acetonitrile and methanol. Flush the column for about 20 minutes. Now step 4, for biological contamination, Flush the column with 50% of IPA and 50% of water. The same way that you did it for ACN and IPA, start the flushing at 0.2 ml and gradually increase to 1 ml for about 20 minutes. Step 5. If you're still seeing issues with proteins, then flush your column with 50-50 proportion of ACN and water along with 0.1% of trifluoroacetic acid. Now this acid helps in denaturing your proteins and helps them flushing out of your columns. Do this flushing for about 10 minutes. Step 6. Now flush everything out. Start with 100% acetonitrile, about 0.5 ml per minute. Flush it for about 10 minutes and then go for 100% methanol, the same thing for 10 minutes, and then equilibrate your column with your parameters mobile phase for about 1 hour. Now this entire column regeneration would take you about 3 to 4 hours, but doing this will add extra life to your column. Even after following these steps, if your contamination is stubborn, then you all can go for advanced regeneration technique. This is where you can use dimethyl sulfoxide along with water, around 50:50 ratio, and at a very slow rate, that is 0.5 ml per minute, flush the column for about 10 minutes. Some labs use pulse technique wherein they would inject 10 ml of pure DMSO and at an interval of 2 minutes they would flush it out. Now DMSO is a very strong solvent. It can reach the organic compound and dissolve it, even which the strong solvents like ACN and methanol cannot do. And remember, after using DMSO, you'll need to flush the column thoroughly first with water and then with methanol. Even small amount of traces of DMSO can affect your separation. Now when you have used phosphate and acetate buffer, always remember, do not use 100% organic solvent to flush the system. This will lead to precipitating the salt and that will lead to blockage of your system and your column. After using buffers in HPLC system and columns, always slowly transition to 100% water and then flush the whole system and column for 20 to 30 minutes with water. This will help to dissolve the salt in water naturally, and this will help in preventing the blockage in the column. For extremely stubborn contamination, some advise to use methylene chloride and chloroform. But always check your column specification and manufacturer's instruction. Check your column's compatibility with these solvent and then you can use it. Now here's one trick. Always when regenerating your column, use your column heater at around 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. This increases the regeneration efficiencies. It helps in dissolving your contamination at a faster rate. At last, I would say prevention is better than cure. I will give you 4 habits that will help you increase your column life dramatically. Number 1, always use a guard column. A 10 mm long guard column will help you to increase your analytical column's life. You all can replace the guard column every 500 injection depending on your sample metrics. Number 2, always filter your sample with 0.22 micron or 0.45 micron. Your number 1 reason for your column contamination is this particulate matter that does not get filtered. By using filters, it will add life to your analytical column. Number 3, always do proper sample cleanup. Now your sample matrix contains color, sugars, lipids that can be treated by using dispersive cleanup technique, that is using PSA, C18, GCP. So this will help in preventing contamination in your column. Number 4, always flush your column after your batch is completed. Flushing your column daily after your batch is completed for half an hour will save you hours of troubleshooting later. If you all have used buffer, always wash your column with water so that the buffer is dissolved, the salts are dissolved in the water and there is no blockage. Now here's a bonus tip. Always maintain a log book for your column. Log for the pressure, the date of installation, what parameters have been run on that column, how many injections are completed. This is easy later to find out the problem for column contamination and how many injections you all have completed and when it is really time to throw it out. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about HPLC column regeneration. If you found this video helpful, do like the video and subscribe for more analytical content.